baby. You know, we here.
Here, baby.
Say, where's here?
Yeah, you said we're here, baby.
We on the highway. On our way to see baby Mila.
Milli.
Her too.
I think you're gonna end up changing my baby's name.
Hey. Yeah.
Driving.
You excited?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm ready to go back to sleep.
You ready to go back to sleep, but we up.
You up.
And I ain't even had no coffee. I know y'all looking like you up, but you ain't up. Wait till you get that coffee in you.
Man.
But right now, I'm dead.
Goddamn DJ with another. No matter what you go through, I'll be there for you. Honestly, you never had a guy to care for you. I'ma try my hardest to be around. If I stick around, will you hold me down? I'm just trying to see what it is you really feel. I'm just trying to kick it with you when we in the field. I'm just trying my hardest just to try to keep it real. If you with me, then just let me know.
I'm telling you, I'm fucking with the way you move. Things you do, the things you do. Keep a nigga hot, I can't be fucking with you. I'm telling you, if I'm a hoe,
What's up, good people? We here. About to see what the baby looking like. The heartbeat. Nah. Let me start that up. Good morning. Again.
You got this. I'm just looking cute today.
We in the doctor's office, sitting here chilling. Got her appointment set up.
Good morning. We are about to go see the baby. I'm excited. So baby's got coffee and I got water. It's just water. It's just water.
Here in the doctor's office, you know, she changed her clothes. About to...
Don't you see my booty?
Hey, boy, my... They ain't got no lock on here, you know?
I don't want to get it done. I don't want to get it done.
You don't want to get what done?
Pap smear. I don't want to get pap smear because I don't want them to stick this thingy in you and then they like turn it and it opens your vagina up and then they stick cotton swabs around your vagina and like check it.
You don't want to see that?
Be poking at me and I gotta get my blood drawn today. Like this is not the best doctor.
Come on in.
Hi,
Good morning.
how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm okay. I'm Dr. Dina Dalu. Nice to meet you.
How you doing?
I'm all right. All right.
better pull
How
it
have
up.
things gone since your last visit?
I was super nauseous for a while. It's starting to get better the last couple days.
How many times a day do you think you're vomiting?
Like 4.
Probably more than that.
Yeah. But at least about 4. It'll be all throughout the day, like morning, afternoon, night.
And then, did you get your prenatal labs drawn yet? Your
No,
prenatal
I'm
labs?
getting those done after I
Perfect. Yeah, there's a lab downstairs. You can just do it on your way out. So. And there are genetic tests that are available for everybody. You guys are not a couple that's at high risk of having somebody, having a baby with a genetic abnormality. So most people in your shoes don't end up getting the testing because they're going to get their ultrasound at 18 to 20 weeks, which is actually looking at the baby. But you have the option of getting testing available. Is that something that you were interested in pursuing?
yes.
Okay.
Showing what?
Genetic testing. So it's looking for things like Down syndrome, trisomy 18, trisomy 13. So your ultrasound that you're going to get at 18 to 20 weeks is looking at the baby's anatomic organ structural development, like kidneys, brain, ventricles, heart development, those sorts of things. So if that's normal, which more often than not in somebody who's less than 35, that's going to come back normal. most people will wait just to do that. You kind of have to look at it. If there was something abnormal, would we do something different about the pregnancy, or would we keep going? If you're going to not act on the tests, then it doesn't make much sense to get the test, especially if you're going to get that 18 to 20 week ultrasound anyway, which everybody gets. Now, even if you got the blood testing ahead of time and it was normal, but the ultrasound showed something that raised my attention, I'm going to look at the ultrasound more critically than I am these blood tests. So because of that, some people will say, well, look, if we're going to make our decisions off of that, I'm going to get that anyway, and there's a potential for false positives with this, and I'm not going to change how I would handle anything, then why get the test in the first place? Because we have a lot of people who get the test because they say, yeah, it's available, I'll get it, and then it comes back with something abnormal, and they say, and they'll say, well, I wasn't going to do anything different anyway. And I said, well, let's wait for your ultrasound and see what that shows, because if the ultrasound anatomy is normal, I'm going to be pretty happy with that. Right. But then they have this test out there that they weren't going to act on. So that's where people sometimes can get into a quandary. So if you were 40, I'd probably be saying, you know, we need to probably have a more serious discussion about genetic implications in pregnancy just because of age. You guys are not, and dad's age, it doesn't matter what dad is. It's all maternal age when it comes to things like chromosomal issues. So it's really more you. So most people, that's why most people in your shoes won't end up getting the test, because they don't have a reason to get it, number one, and two, it won't change how they'd handle it. Right. So that's what you guys have to decide. Now, you are beyond the point where you can do what's called the first trimester testing. Your ultrasound's going to be coming up in a month anyway. I'd almost just assume, say, unless you guys were very set on getting it, which is your call, your personal choice. The blood testing at this point has a little bit of a higher false positive rate compared to testing that could be done in the first trimester. But your guys are not a couple that's at high risk for any of that anyway. So that's what you have to decide. You're going to get that ultrasound in 4 weeks. You're almost at the point, you're almost 16 weeks now. I'd almost say you don't have a specific reason to. It's your call on that, but let's get the ultrasound, see what that shows, because if that's normal, it'll end the discussion for you for that. So if you guys did decide, though, that you did want the blood testing done, we can order that for you. It's called a quad test, which is used, there's blood protein markers which give us a risk assessment of whether that risk is higher or lower for you. It's just a little bit of a higher false positive rate compared to things that can be done in the first trimester, and you're close enough to your ultrasound that if you said, hey, I'm low risk overall, I'm not going to change how I handle anything with this, I'm going to just go ahead and do the ultrasound, that's going to be around the time of your next visit anyway.
Okay.
Might as well just wait then.
Mm-hmm.
If I thought you needed to get the test done, I would say, hey, you need to get the test done. Right?
Okay.
I'd tell it to you that way. You guys aren't in a position where you're in that category. So it's purely personal preference.
I don't have to get a needle. I don't want one.
Well, I mean, you got to go get the needle today. Anyway. So if somebody said that they wanted the testing, you could just add it right on to that. But I think in this situation, comparing what testing options are available now versus the diagnostic capability of the ultrasound is the one that has more power to it, and you're a month away from that anyway. So if you change your mind, you can always call us back. I think the biggest thing that people decide, what I hear them say is, it's not going to change how we handle anything anyway. So if you kind of feel that way, then you have to wonder why get the test in the first place. It's kind of like the patient who's 80, who we get a CAT scan that we think that they have cancer, and say, well, we need to send her for a biopsy. And she's like, why? I'm not going to do chemo. I'm done. It just takes me, right? You have to respect those wishes in those patients, you know. And she doesn't want to live the next 2 to 3 years in a hospital, you know, hooked up to IVs. I think that's her choice, right? You know, so. Questions for me?
Nothing yet.
Okay.
Ooh, are you excited?
To get this baby out of me, yes.
You still have a while to go.
I'm gonna pull out these stirrups.
We'll be back, guys.
Had it and lost it. That's bad.
Will you hear, boo?
I do. Oh my goodness.
That's good. 146. Anything in the 120s to 160s range is normal. It tends to be right in the middle, if not a little bit on the higher side, the earlier in the pregnancy. So that sounds good. Okay, now the not so fun part. This should not be painful though, so if you feel anything sharp or painful, you just gotta let me know.
Oh, now we're going back out, guys. All right, everybody. We back here.
You just watched somebody. Give me a Pepsi. It's awkward.
Was it?
Uncomfortable and it hurt.
I bet. Why was? Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, I wasn't even paying no attention for real.
Really?
That was your business. Honestly, none of
Be
that.
watching, make sure I'm okay.
I was. I see a tear drop.
You whatever. You did not see a teardrop.
Yeah, I did.
You did.
That's why I had to. I should stop and start looking at you like, my baby crying. This doctor finna make me whoop his ass. Make my baby cry. Fuck around too. Ain't that right?
That's right. So I'm 15 months?
15 weeks. 16 weeks this Friday. This Wednesday.
Oh my gosh. I lost some weeks.
You lost.
I thought it was way less than that.
So who you pregnant by?
You. Don't matter if it was 20 weeks, 16 weeks, 5 weeks. It's all you, baby.
Good.
I'm good.
You ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready to come back in 4 more weeks and see what we're having. No? What?
We're not seeing what we have.
Oh, well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we have to.
We'll get the envelope.
We have to
And so
fight.
we gotta have our baby reveal party like the week after. So whatever date we pick for the ultrasound,
So
we
you
can
gotta
start
fact.
planning.
So you gonna fact. I thought it was already been planned.
I mean, but we don't have a date because I didn't know what date we were actually getting the gender done yet. But after I schedule the appointment, then we'll know exactly when we're having the gender.
They did that shit so quick.
Yeah. Okay, let's get out of here, baby. Let's go get my blood drawn.
Now we gotta go get blood, y'all. One coffee down. As soon as I find another big B, another one to go. You gonna be like, it's gonna be the longest video of your life.
I'm telling you, I'm fucking with